The war was just beginning for Donald Peterson when he returned home from Iraq in 2005. A traumatic brain injury, herniated discs, and post-traumatic stress he suffered in battlegrounds overseas were his new enemies. Opioids became his crutch. As Peterson slipped into addiction and other medical problems arose, his wife and 2 daughters became fearful of the Army Reserve Major. They moved out of their Amherst home for their own safety. Then the 52-year-old combat veteran died alone last March in the Klein Road house he had remodeled for them. His death certificate listed heart disease complicated by diabetes as the cause of death. His wife believes he might still be alive if he hadn't become addicted to opioids, an addiction that started in the military. She blames Army doctors, Veterans Affairs physicians and a local pain specialist. When Dunn was at Walter Reed Medical Center, he told me they handed out the pain pills like sheetlets. He said he had become dependent on them, Rosemary Peterson said. While much attention has been given to young people becoming addicted to opioids in recent years, little heed has been paid to the many military veterans showing up as addicts. Between 2001 and 2009, military physicians wrote nearly 4 million prescriptions for painkillers to treat combat injuries and strains from the wear and tear of multiple deployments, according to a study by the National Institute on Drug Abuse. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs often ends up treating these veterans when they leave active duty, and the numbers show opioid addiction remains a formidable challenge. Some 68,000 veterans are being treated for opioid use disorder by the VA. About 1 of every 10 soldiers who returns from Afghanistan and Iraq experiences problems with alcohol and other drugs. Nearly 1 out of 3 veterans who seeks treatment for substance use disorder suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder. Rosemary Peterson said it was beyond her abilities to provide the type of care her husband required and that the VA could have done a better job by assigning him 24-hour home care. Our house was like a candy store of drugs, she said. There was every kind of drug, fentanyl patches and other painkillers, speed, mood-enhancing medication, and on top of that heart medication, blood pressure medicine and medicine for diabetes. Officials from the VA, the Army, and other government agencies say that protocols for treating chronic pain have been revised in recent years, and the result has been a substantial reduction in the number of prescriptions written for opioid pain medications. The Federal Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration reported last June that it was working with the Department of Defense and the VA to enhance informed prescribing practices and prevent misuse that can result in overdose or even death. That includes limiting the length of opioid and other pain medication use, recognizing signs of misuse and greater awareness of treatment options. But for Peterson, the changes in how opioids are prescribed were years away when he returned home from the war in 2005.